Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Daggerheart, and we're going to talk about an amazing change in Daggerheart from Dungeons & Dragons, where Daggerheart is doing it much better. So I had this player in Dungeons & Dragons, I had him for years, and I would say like a third of the games, the group would be, the group would go into a situation and go, okay, here's this major danger, we're going to accept that danger, or we're going to go away from that danger, right? And like 4 out of 5 of the players be like, okay, bet, let's go. And then the other player be like, I don't like what you guys are doing. I'm going to go do my weird side quest. I'm running off into the forest. I'm going to find a unicorn. And I was like, what? And so it was a problem. It was definitely a problem. And one of the things that I would do, and so Scott, how did you handle it? I would go 45 minutes with the other players who were on the story, right? And then I would go over, you went into the forest, you fell in a hole, and you're in the hole. And and you would think that this player would be like, oh, I'm not playing. But he did. He kept coming back all the time, which is wild. Yeah. So what did Daggerheart do to fix this? Well, they listed player best practices. Now, I definitely would, you're like, best practices, but they list it very directly. It's clearly guidance, right? And so why didn't they just say, hey, players, do this? Well, it's kind of beta energy, I guess, I don't know. But they should have just been like, hey, players, do this, right? But it does say player best practices at the top, but the rest of it is like, hey, do this, right? Like it very much has do this energy. It's just like, there's this whole thing now. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like leaders and I don't want to be a leader and everything will work out without authority, man. I'm like, dude, just go play hacky sack and eat your hummus. Can we get back to the real world here? Right? Like, and so it's got a little bit of that energy, but so what did they put in there? One of the 4 directions given to players for best practices is tell the story. Tell the story. It's your responsibility to tell the story, right? Not your weird side quest. Nobody cares about your weird side quest. Get on board. And hey, you have every right to say to the group, hey, I don't want to do that, right? And actually, now that we're there, you even have the right to be like, yo, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't like this, the way this is going. I'm going to bow out. My character's going to go, my character's going to go find a unicorn, right? And hey, can you guys text me next week when, when we're at a point where we can make a decision again? I think that's completely valid, right? Get up from the table and leave. Go play Call of Duty. And then if people text you, great, right? And if they don't, you deserve that, right? But this, and I love that Daggerheart, Spencer Stark is like, hey, tell the story, not your stupid, weird side quest, right? Tell the story. You're responsible for and hey, and the other thing is, it's on you and if you're like somebody who wants to do something different than the rest of the group, it's on you to win them over. And if you can't, you suck, and it's on you. You can't be like, you can't be mad at the you can't be mad at the dungeon master, and you can't be mad at the other players. It was on you to get this done and to go in a different direction, right? This is on you. And so I really feel strongly that is the case. And, but I do this, I think this was brilliantly handled within, by Spencer Stark and Daggerheart. Way better, and this is handling a problem that Dungeons & Dragons simply doesn't handle. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.